أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين والله خير ناصر ومعين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. I begin in the name of Allah, the most compassionate and the most merciful. Just before the break we were talking about how to attain taqwa, how to attain the level of iman and the ways of doing so. Those who missed the first half of the program, taqwa is only attained when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you that opportunity. Every human being has the opportunity to attain taqwa, and the only way to attain iman and taqwa is to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, every attribute of Allah and obedience of Allah, the angels, the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Holy Book. We discussed the 7 different aspects of what the verse of Surah Al-Baqarah verse 177 discussed, helping the poor and needy, the wayfarers, the widowed, and ultimately obtaining and sustaining the obligatory prayers. This second part of the program we will be discussing the brief analysis of our 8th Imam Ali ibn Musa alayhi salam, because tonight is a night where all eyes and all ears and all hearts will be surrounding the holy dome, surrounding the holy shrine of Khurasan, of Mashhad. People will be streaming from all across the country and all across the world just to pay their respects to this very, very, very special individual. And to pay their respects, they can only pay their respects by entering the holy shrine and visiting the golden shrine, the golden dome, and looking at the golden dome itself brings that peace and tranquility. For those who have been to Mashhad al-Muqaddas, you will all know that Mashhad is a city in which Imam Raza alayhi salam reposes in peace. So when we know that our Imam, the infallible, the perfect individual who was on that earth, was on that land, because he is the owner of that land, we know that the Imam faced many difficulties in his life, faced many triumphs in his life. Those who were against him, those who were with him, those who plotted to take away the Imamah, those who poisoned the Imam. So we all know the story, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave every Imam a duty to do, gave every Imam assigned aspect, assigned form, so that they, whenever they went on earth or whenever they took the hand of Khilafat and they accepted the role of Imamat, they fulfill their duty. No Imam before they reached the level of Imamat, or before they accepted Imamat, they did whatever they had in their mind, they fulfilled. So this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them, that signed aspect, signed mission, so that the most important thing that they did was guidance towards goodness. Everything else was there. For example, there was wars at the time of the Prophet, there were wars at the time of the Imams, there were infidelity at the times of Imam, there were tyranny at the times of the Imams, there was oppression at the times of the Imam. But the most important thing in history that we have to learn is that how the Imams overcome that tragedy, how the Imam overcame and realized how the Imams lived their life. We have a call on the line. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. How are you, brother?
Alhamdulillah.
Brother, can I ask you one question? Because I am from Pakistan, and there are two big groups in Pakistan, one Shia and one Sunni, and the Sunni Muslim, they don't follow Al-Bayt, and the Shia Muslim, they don't follow Sunnat Rasulullah Sallam, Ashaba Ajmain, and you can't try to bring them in table and explain them, because you know the real Islam and Sirat al-Mustaqim, and bring them all together and make a good Muslim in Pakistan. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We will discuss the answer at the end part of the program, inshallah. But going back to our topic, we're talking about the Imam, our 8th Imam, our beloved Imam, whose anniversary is tomorrow. The night of the 11th of Dhul Qa'dah is tonight. So the warmest greetings and the warmest congratulations to our Imam Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman, and to congratulate all the mu'mineen and all mu'minat who believe in the imamate of our 8th Imam. So our 8th Imam was born in Medina. Our Imam's father, Imam Musa al-Kadhim alayhi salam, and his beloved virtuous mother Najma Khatun, they were both in this very, very happy feeling when Imam alayhi salam was born. And the Imam himself gave out very, very beautiful blessings to people around him. When the Imam alayhi salam was born, Imam himself was Imam Musa al-Kadhim and his beloved mother Najma Khatun. They both gave the name Ali, because why? Because after the one and only commander of faithful, Ali ibn Abi Talib, because they wanted to have that. The Imam had wanted, the mother and the father of our 8th Imam wanted to have the same characteristics, same virtues, same knowledge as our first Imam. So they named him Ali. When we look at the silsila, or when we look at the divine message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is called Imama, we know that Imamat was given to us as a divine ruling. So when we were given Imamat, it was only and only from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It was not from our ideology, or it was not an idea that we made ourselves as human beings, as fallible minds. No, we go according to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us, and it clearly shows that Allah appointed Imams before himself. So it's a divine message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We learn in Surah Al-Baqarah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, wa idh ibtala Ibrahim rabbuhu bi kalimatin fa'atammahunna qala inni ja'iluka lin-nasi imama qala wa min dhurriyyati qala la yanalu ahdi adh-dhalimin. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tested Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam with certain words, and he fulfilled them. And then he said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that I am making you as the Imam of mankind. And Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam replied by saying, will it be, or is it from my descendants? Allah replied by saying, my pledge does not extend to the unjust people. So Allah himself stated that I have given you, Hazrat Ibrahim, I have given you the level of Imamat, and I am choosing you to lead people of that mankind. So Allah himself made an Imam on earth. This is why we've attained the level of our Imams are on that level of Imamat, because we know that Imam Ali alayhi salam is the rightful successor after the Holy Prophet, and then the continuation of infallibility was attained by Imam Hassan alayhi salam, Imam Hussein alayhi salam, Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam, Imam Baqir, all the way to the Imam of our time, Imam Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman. So God himself appointed the Imams. Imamat reached its climax in the last years of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, his life, where in which he gave many hints throughout the life who was the rightful successor, who was the rightful wazir, who was the rightful Khalifa, in comparison to other people who believe that he was not the rightful Imam, or he was not the rightful Khalifa after the Holy Prophet. We discuss further in which there are many clear evidences, there are many clear proofs that the Imam was only and only be chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because clear message from the Holy Quran, clear message that this is the way that you will be chosen, and no other human being can elect another Imam, or no other group of people can elect the next Caliph. Because why? Clearly that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not give him permission, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who gives the divine message, the divine leadership, and appoints that divine individual. We know that the knowledge of our 8th Imam Ali ibn Musa Rada was just like the knowledge of his father and his forefathers. He strode on the footsteps of the Imams. His great bravery, his great passion towards leading the people towards goodness, leading the Ummah through a very critical age, era, and the days that tyrannical ruler, the Abbasid Khalifas, they all wanted to do is go against the Imam and take away the Imamah, take away the ideology, as they wanted to call it. That's what they thought, it was an ideology of human minds. No, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sets rules on this earth for people, no time and era will be without an Imam anyway. So in every era there were prophets, and they were either prophets or they were Imams. Allah will not leave an ummah, Allah will not leave a community without an Imam, without a leader. No. So this is the promise from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What the Abbasid Khalifas did, what the idea of the plot that Ma'mun had, he was the one that invited the Imam to Khurasan. So his plot was to take the Imam and bring him into politics, so that he forgets about the people and only rules upon other people. No, this was not the case of the Imam. Imam did not do this. They all thought that the Imam could do this. Yes, everyone has the ability to do it. But what Ma'mun wanted to do is overrule the divine law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that was Imamat, and he failed. After the age of 50, when Imam alayhi salam was 50 years old, 15 years after Khilafah, 15 years after he was appointed an Imam after his father, Imam alayhi salam was acquainted by many people to see exactly who the Imam was. Many people came to him with questions. Many people came to him with tragedies that they've faced in their lives, struggles in their life, how to overcome. And the Imam individually and perfectly answered every single individual. One person by the name of Ismail al-Sindhi came to the Holy Imam and asked the Imam, because he didn't know Arabic, and he only knew the language Sindhi. And he approached the Imam and he spoke in his language, he spoke in Hindi, and the Imam astonishingly and amazingly replied back in Sindhi. And the person was amazed and the person was surprised. Oh Imam, how could you, first of all, are you the Imam of our time? And the Imam replied back in Sindhi. And later on they conversated, they made conversation, they talked about Islam, they talked about Deen, they talked about how they talk about many aspects of religion. But the most important thing is that we realize that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala appoints an Imam, he is able to do every single thing that he wants him to do. So speaking in a different language, that was just a minor miracle from the Imam. In the same way, another incident occurred when the Imam alayhi salam was traveling from Medina towards Khurasan in a city called Basra, when which people from all origins, all backgrounds came to the Imam, atheists, Jews, Christians, every single person, scholars, big scholars, learned scholars came to the Imam and asked them in their language. So those who spoke French, Imam replied back to them in French. Those who spoke Latin, Imam replied back to them in Latin. Those who spoke any other language, English, German, any other language, Imam alayhi salam miraculously replied back in their own language with the best fluency that was possible. So they, whenever they asked a question about Islam, Imam replied with the best answers. Whenever they asked Imam with the worldly affairs or any issues regarding any matter, Imam replied back them with the perfect and best answer. There was nothing else to do except to respect the Imam, one, to accept the religion of the Imam. That's exactly what they did. Every single person who was against the religion of Islam, they came to the Imam, asked them the questions, and Imam replied with the best answers. Replying to them with the best answers resulted in them accepting the religion of Islam, and because they had no answer. When the perfect religion, when the perfect man, when the perfect individual is talking about the perfect religion, how is anyone else able to convey a different message, or how is anyone able to overcome or overrule that statement that the Imam alayhi salam, the Imams and the Infallibles alayhi salam say to them? So it was proven to the individuals that yes, this is the best person on earth, and this is a person who can answer every question. People came to the Imam saying that this is there were many big scholars, Jewish scholars, that everyone asked the question, they could answer the questions, and it was Ma'mun who sent them people to tackle the Imam and to say that okay, the Imam did not have knowledge, or he is not the right Imam, or he is not the right Khalif, or he is not that person that everyone thinks about. No. When all these scholars, or when all these astronauts, when everyone is sent to the Imam replied back to them with their own language, with the best possible tongue. So it is proven from Surah Al-Yasin, verse number 12. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, wa kullu shay'in ahsaynahu fi imamin mubin. And we have placed everything in the manifested Imam. Meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when appointing the Imam, when appointing that individual on earth to guide the people to the right path, وَكُلُّ شَيْءٍ أَحْسَيْنَا فِي إِمَامٍ مُبِينٍ, whichever goodness that he needs, it will be manifested to the Imam. Whatever goodness, to prove that the Imam is the rightful Imam, ask him anything and he will reply back with everything. Ask him anything, he will reply back with everything. So when Ma'mun's plot, when his theory to evaluate or extinguish the divine law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he failed, and the Imam made himself easy accessible to everyone. So the poor came to the Imam, the needy came to the Imam, every single person who was expecting the Imam to be there, Imam was there. It was not like as if that the Imam was away or did not have time for anyone. No. Anyone who knocked on the Imam's door, Imam replied back with a smile. And anyone who had a question to the Imam, Imam replied back with the best possible answer. So this was the Imam, knowing that he had the answer to everything, knowing that people were thirsty of knowledge. When people were thirsty, they went to the Imam and they weren't quenched with water, they were quenched with thirst of knowledge. They went back with knowledge, and they went back with a smile, knowing that they attained the answer. Some people, when they go to other people for answers, sometimes they don't obtain the answer, sometimes they are not convinced with the answer. But the Imam himself alayhi salam gave that tranquility to the hearts of the Ummah, tranquility to the hearts of the community, that he was the rightful Imam. There are a few ahadith from our beloved Imam that I want to relate to. The first hadith is from Imam Rada alayhi salam. عن الرضا عليه السلام إنه كان يقول لأصحابه عليكم بالسلاح الأنبياء فقيل وما سلاح الأنبياء قال الدعاء. Imam alayhi salam used to say to his companions that obtain or have the Prophet's weapon, and he used to always ask, what is the Prophet's weapon? And the Imam replied by saying, the Prophets, all the Anbiya, the Prophet's weapon is dua, is supplication, is praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This was their motto. The second hadith I want to go to is from Imam Rada alayhi salam. أول ما يحاسب العبد عليه الصلاة فإن صحت له الصلاة صح ما سواه وإن ردت رد ما سواه. Saying that the first thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will question you or will analyze your life upon is prayer, is worship. If your prayer is accepted, then everything else is accepted. If your prayer is not accepted, then any other thing that you do is not accepted. Third hadith from the Holy Imam is إن الهندباء شفاء ألف داء ما من داء في جوف الإنسان إلا قمعه الهندباء. Hindibā is, in the English terminology, is called a chicory. A chicory is a vegetable used in an Italian, is basically an Italian herb, which the Imam himself states that it's a shifa alf da'in. It's a shifa, it's a cure for 1,000 illnesses. So whoever has problems within their body, or whoever has any problems, ما من داء في جوف الإنسان, anything that is within the body of a human being, if it's treated by a chicory, if you all go to if you all go on Google and type it al-hindibā or a chicory, you will also see the benefits of a chicory. And Imam himself has stated in the ahadith that it is the cure for 1,000 illnesses. So many sides to the Imam. Imam is talking about knowledge, Imam is talking about politics, Imam is talking about social aspects of religion or normal day life. Also talks about cure. And if you read the book At-Tibb al-Rida, meaning the cures or the dawa, the medicine of Rida, you'll find many cures, herbal cures that the Holy Imam alayhi salam stated. For example, fruits that cure X, Y, and Z illness, vegetables that cure X, Y, and Z illnesses. Many things that you should know. And the Imam only does not talk about religion, also talks about eating healthily, having a good diet, just for the goodness of human beings. And whatever we have learnt in our lives, we learn it from the Imams. Whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, take on board. And inshallah, when we take on board what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to us, read the Holy Quran, believe in him, obey the Prophet, ati Allah wa ati Rasul. Whoever obeys the Holy Prophet ultimately is obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And once again, I'd like to congratulate all the mu'minin and mu'minat on this auspicious occasion, the birth anniversary of our 8th Imam, Imam Ali ibn Musa Rada. And inshallah, we pray to anyone who has not been to the holy shrine of Imam Rada alayhi salam, Allah grant him that opportunity to see the holy shrine in front of them. In the same way, those who have not been to Karbala, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the opportunity to be the truthful worshippers of Allah and ultimately pay their respects to our Imam. We end this program with the recitation of Dua Imam Zamana. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقاعدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.